The folks here in Florida definitely used to this. Rain in the forecast as we join you from Everbank Stadium here in the city of Jacksonville. Today, Week 17 is upon us, and we've got a good one in store here, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cam Little out to get us started. And off we go from Jacksonville. Here we go on the return from the 1-yard line. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And he brings this one back. A fumble return for Jacksonville score. Well, how's that for an early storyline? Some people are asking the ushers where their seat is, and boom, we've got a score on the board, a fumble return on the opening kickoff.
And this is where all the tailgating groups are looking at each other saying, maybe we need to get to the stadium just a little bit earlier next time.
But man, those bratwursts, they're good, Charles, they're good. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Let's go now.
They'll run. Here's the rookie from Michigan. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 24-yard line.
Play action. Now Richardson. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9.
Cowboy 80. Ready.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Taken from just outside the 30. And he'll take a shot at the end of that one, and they'll begin right there. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line.
Hey.
They'll run. This is Bashal Tutin. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss. Second and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Let's go.
Here's Lawrence to throw. Over the middle here, it's hauled in by Watson. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they were excellent a week ago in that victory over Indianapolis.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Offensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like in the start of a game with the emotion, guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
Have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Cowboy 80. 79 Broncos. Go Street.
Richardson looking to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to be touched down, but he's got the first down.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Here we go, here we go. Check.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
2nd and 12.
Just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll get this across the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. You look at this Jaguar defense. They're going to be tough to throw on, no doubt. Currently ranked 3rd in the NFL against the pass.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Richardson under pressure, and down he goes. Abdul Carter make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. So on 4th down, out is Ryan Rico to punt. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, coaches stress their defense being physical. They don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
From the gun, it's Lawrence.
He'll get this out to Tootin. He's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Take right open.
Now Lawrence. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
3rd and long always tilts to the defense. And I just remember as a player how many times it was hammered into my head. Know where the sticks are and get him down in front of it. But sometimes what happens is you worry about where that is much more than the person who has the ball. And on that play, they didn't have enough focus on him. And somehow he turned a short pass into a 1st down.
Hey, go.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And showcasing those strong legs on that run. Getting through 1 tackle. Now she winds up getting 8 there.
The Jaguars at 8-7, a game over 500 on the year. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. 2nd quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football, as they've got it with a 2nd and 1 coming up.
Hey, Lion.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive they went 3 and out.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Red on red.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he still has yet to get on track in this 1st half as they're going to stop him behind the line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the 1st half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Lawrence will throw. Now he's going to step up and run. And he's just going to get rid of this thing to no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
One thing you always worry about when he breaks the pocket is he going to take off with it? That time, the pressure was starting to close in, and he's just got to throw this one away.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. The keeper nets him only a yard, and that's going to bring up 4th.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise, and that'll deny him a shot at 3.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set him up.
2nd and 9.
Ready?
Here's a quick throw caught by Higgins.
Richardson's pass.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Now a 3rd and 6.
19, 5 in. Ready? Trap 50, trap 60. Trap 19, trap 19. Ready?
Richardson out of the shotgun. And that nearly intercepted. Well, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. And instead, it's 4th down.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
Right, let's go.
And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. Looking to throw, Lawrence.
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long.
Hey, Coach, here we go.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And the Jaguars send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Seahawks are an extra point away from drawing level.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And able to get this out to the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive.
As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like, because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Okay, ready?
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line.
11.
On play action, Lawrence. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Mike Green. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long.
Gun. Hey, I'm gun. 11.
Looking to throw. That's complete. He's got Tootin. And he'll have this team, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out of his own blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down.
Take right open.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Here's Lawrence. Finds Tootin out of the backfield. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Jaguars. Bayshore Tootin with career touchdown number 162, tying him with LaDainian Tomlinson for 3rd place all time. And the Jaguars have taken the lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. They couldn't take the chance. This will be returned from the goal line. And that's pretty good coverage by the kick team, as he'll only be able to get this past the 15-yard line and no further. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Oh, and that is incomplete.
The good signal calls will never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Okay, break.
2nd and 10.
Get back, police.
Now Richardson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Quick throw completed by Richardson. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half.
1st down.
A couple of first downs have him to the 40 now on 1st and 10. Slot man moves right.
Again, it's Richardson.
Looking long for Thomas. And this is caught inside the 5. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line.
That's how you put field position. What a play right there. That nearly went the distance. Credit this defense for not giving up. They get him down just short of the goal line, but the damage is done. It's going to be 1st and goal from an ideal position.
A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. A great play there as the first half is winding down.
And the Seahawks have a chance to tie the game here in the final seconds of the half.
Extra point right down the middle. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Think right. Rip, 23. Go. Hey, I'm gun. 11, Agate.
Lawrence. Rifles one, and it's going to be intercepted. Jacorian Bennett has it. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half.
So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
And that one not returnable. It's over the back line to the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive.
Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles, so as we start the third quarter. Curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one, and we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee-wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
Now Lawrence to throw.
Quick hitter here, it's complete.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Here comes 3rd down and 7.
11. On the red. Hey, Soko, hut. 11.
Now Lawrence. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Still going inside the 20. And he's going to be out of bounds here all the way down inside the 10.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Where's the contain there? And yes, that's a question because that was just a simple drop-off. But he hits the Jets, and all of a sudden, the seas part in front of him. A huge result there to flip the field and what was a fairly innocuous play call.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his.
So how about the season, Charles, that he continues to put together? That's now 25 rushing touchdowns on the year. That's getting into some very rarefied territory.
Yeah, it made you and I do a little extra homework prior to this one in anticipation, because that one moves him past John Riggins with 24. He draws even with Emmitt Smith at 25 in 1995. Next up, Priest Holmes and Sean Alexander with 27. And the guy on top, LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, the Hall of Famer, he had 28 in 2006.
Looking to put a drive together.
Here we go, Scott. Panther Street. Panther Street. Ready.
Richardson to throw off play action.
He'll air it out deep for Thomas. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle.
Brian Thomas
With touchdown number 23 here on the year.
And the Seahawks are within an extra point of tying up this ball game.
Now the extra point. And in this rain, they were nice and cautious there on the extra point try, and that caution was well warranted as this game is tied. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
At their own 27-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And these two teams have traded touchdowns so far with their first possessions here in the third quarter, so we're right back to where we started at intermission.
Yeah, how about that? Tied at the half. Tied after the first two drives of the third quarter, one for each. That tells me that someone's defense has got to step up and make a big play and try and change the momentum of this game.
Here's 2nd and 10.
30 left. Hey, Lisa 24. Here we go.
Operating from the gun, Lawrence. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep two eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting two hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Dodges him at the 50. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
When you get into the second half of a tie ball game, you start realizing that every play takes on a bigger significance, and this is pretty significant right here. This is where you start putting the pressure on that secondary, and that's a job well done there.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 36.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. Down the right sideline.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown.
Bashal Tutin,
36 yards.
and the Jaguars have taken the lead.
Extra point splits the uprights, and they will take a 7-point lead. Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cool as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. And they'll run it here. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Okay, ready?
A 6-yard
Pass the 60, pass the 60, go!
At the 35-yard line.
Go!
And they'll go on the ground. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A great effort there. 34 yards. And the Seahawks are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
And to me, the key to a wide receiver run like that is getting around the first edge guy. It's often like a punt returner. Make that first guy miss, because if you can do that successfully and get upfield, we know good things can happen. He's able to take that one into the end zone.
So right back to square one, tied at 28 as he kicks it away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. He's going to fire one deep over the middle, and that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
2nd and 10.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10.
Hey, Ginger, touch! 13.
Now Lawrence now going to move him around. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lawrence. Going across the formation, there's Hatton with it. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 22 yards there, a first down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 57 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41. And they'll run on the inside handoff. Down to about the 37. From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd.
Looking to throw. Lawrence. Quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
From the gun on 3rd down, Lawrence. He'll find Schwartz complete right side. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. this would be a long field goal if the skies were clear. But here in the rain and the elements, they'll go for it on fourth.
Hey, Soko, 11.
And they'll try and throw forward with Lawrence.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jags come up empty on fourth down. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here.
A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. Third quarter action from Jacksonville.
Go street. 19, Tiger, 19.
Richardson.
He's going to float this over the middle, deep. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Ashton Davis. And the Jags are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
Jaguars take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on fourth down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't want to get to a fourth down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Hey, kill.
And here's a handoff out of the gun.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
80 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Jaguars 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
And they won't be able to run another play. Time has expired on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10. Down at the 31.
Hey, let's go.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch victory.
A field goal could get them the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Here we go.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pick up a 3.
You know, when this offense gets down here near the end zone, they're going to turn to their bell cow. And this guy's been a touchdown machine all year. Excellent job stopping him there on 1st down.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Hey, go.
Throw out right. It's brought in by Otten.
And they will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Cade Otton, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars have broken this deadlock and have taken the lead in the fourth. Point after, right down the middle. And they will take a 7-point lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that's pretty good coverage by the kick team, as you'll only be able to get this past the 15-yard line and no further. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Okay, ready?
The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Here we go. Cougar 19, 18, 5 in. Dragon 60.
From the shotgun, Richardson. And his guy's man in stride, complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. 3rd and 7 now.
And it's 3rd down.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Panther 60.
Now it's Richardson. Looking long for Thomas. This is intercepted. And the Jaguars are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive.
Hey, Rob.
Another important fourth quarter series coming up. That last INT helping to maintain their slim advantage. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Bashir Tootin, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the fourth quarter.
Jaguars 42, Seahawks 28.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Ready, set.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Here's Richardson to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
First down, Seattle.
Trap 50, trap 60. Down. Cowboy 80, go.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Mustang 19. Ready.
And Richardson looks to throw once more. That's to the tight end, Mallory.
And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And a little bit of space there, takes it inside the 5 to the 3. 5 yards, a good run there, and now second and goal.
It's a bit of a dangerous part of the field for them to break into their bag of tricks, but for a minute there, I thought it was going to set up perfectly for them. Instead, they don't get into the end zone, but they do pick up positive yardage.
Ready.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal.
Ready.
They'll try to run this one in. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
This crowd doing all they can. Here's third and goal.
60 back. Here we go. Set. 18. 5 here.
Richardson looking to throw.
Touchdown! From 3 yards out.
And the Seahawks have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
They're going to try and run. And he's going to be hit and taken down in the backfield. Just nowhere to run that time. And the try for 2 is snuffed out. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
Hey, Ron.
It's going to be pretty tough for them to match their efficiency, Charles, with that last possession, needing only the one play to find the end zone on the rushing touchdown.
Yeah, they got that together collectively, didn't they? Total group effort. Although the guy toting the rock, he gets all the credit. It was blocked up so well. The only thing stopping him was running into the goalpost in the back of the end zone.
At the 29-yard line.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Hey.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And that winds up a decent run, and it also takes us to the 2-minute warning. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Here's Lawrence to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. Look at the big fella go.
And he's going to get it all the way down to the 10-yard line.
That last throw, Charles, is going to move him past 32,942 yards passing for his career, and that surpasses the total of the Hall of Famer and a colleague of both of ours, Troy Aikman.
Yeah, played from 1989 to 2000, and Troy Aikman, he was about winning, because remember, he had Michael Irvin to throw it to. We had Emmitt Smith to hand it to. Just imagine if he was throwing it the way they throw it around nowadays, his numbers, boy, would they be sky high.
It's first and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away.
Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
I'm assuming they're keeping this football on the ground, right?
I would think so, because you're looking at the clock. That's in your favor. You're looking at the geography of the field, right? Where you are, that's in your favor as well. Keep it on the ground. Keep pounding. Run that clock down. You got everything working in your direction.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter. Do they put the ball in the air here on third?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
So we have a tie now atop the all-time single-season rushing touchdown list. LaDainian Tomlinson, you've just been joined by this man.
And they share similar traits in running the football. Excellent vision, cutting ability, determination, will. They understand where the end zone is and will not be deterred.
And he's got it. So the two-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth quarter lead.
Seahawks, 34. Cam Little to kick off for the Jaguars.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. They'll come up first and 10 here.
19 Wyatt. Come on. Check smash. Check smash. Fix the Eagles. Fix the Eagles.
Richardson to throw it. Pass complete to Higgins. And he will get out of bounds here to stop the clock, but not a huge pickup there. 6, maybe 7.
Decent start there to the drive. Big hill to climb, maybe 2 touchdowns, also 2 two-point conversion.
So, partner, how do you eat an elephant?
I don't eat an elephant. Who eats an elephant?
If you do,
Richardson under pressure, and down he goes.
It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third.
Here's Richardson. He'll try and do this himself.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
it's been a nice day for him as a passer and as a runner. One of the few mistakes he's made in this ball game. The wrong choice on that one. That one goes incomplete.
Fourth down, desperation time. Here's Richardson.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Well, this was a fun one today if you like points. A lot of them went on the board. Both offenses were clicking. Charles, these defenses, meanwhile, have a little something to clean up before their next contest.
Yeah, neither end zone had a stop sign in it, did they? I mean, for both sides, visit it, and with frequency. Not fun to be a defensive player, but on the offensive side of the ball, those guys had a blast.